Hello family! Today I've decided to bring you into the kitchen, show you a little bit of my meal prepping for the week. I kind of cheated out, had a really exhausting weekend, so I decided to buy frozen stir fries, frozen vegetables. Usually don't do frozen, I usually do fresh. You're going to get more nutrients out of fresh vegetables. You freeze them, you start losing a little bit. But like I said, I'm exhausted. I was trying to talk myself out of even meal prepping for the week, which is just absolutely terrible because I eat foods I should not be eating. Meal prepping is very important. You don't have to make individual meals. That for me seems harder because that's literally all day in your kitchen trying to get ready. And I have lived a very busy lifestyle, so that's just not on my table what I can do. I train martial arts 4 days out of the week. I work. I'm up at no later than 5 o'clock every morning. I go to work. I work my 8-9 hour day. Then I train. So only Wednesday and Friday am I actually home before 9 o'clock. And that's leaving my house at 6 o'clock every morning. So, anyways, be prepared for your day, for your week. I should say, not your day, but for your week is very vital for health. So I'm going to do a stir fry. So I've got some non-GMO, it's hard to find organic edamame, but which is soybeans. I got shelled. It's a whole lot easier to do. Very good source of protein. I'm vegetarian, so for me, this is a very good source of protein. It's a complete protein, which means it has all nine essential amino acids. Very important if you're vegetarian to know how to combine proteins with carbs, or proteins with grains, I should say, to be able to make it a complete protein. Usually if you're cooking beans, it's good to have rice or some sort of grain because that will give you the lacking essential amino acids that the beans itself do not have. But soybeans are 100% complete protein. Quinoa is a complete protein. There's like 3 others that I can't think of right now, but there's not very many complete proteins if you're going vegetarian. So you have to know to add grains to your proteins. My rice that I'm cooking with is brown basmati rice. It's one of the best, lowest glycemic foods for rice, I should say. It's low glycemic, so if you're diabetic or pre-diabetic, this will help from your insulin levels from rising drastically. No matter what, when you eat carbs, your insulin levels rise. But you gotta know the healthy carbs and the unhealthy carbs. Like sugar, not good for you. Processed sugar, I should say. So anyways, while I'm doing this, I'm gonna speak to you all about some of our macronutrients that we need in our life. The micronutrients that we need in our life, which is all of them, but to be able to kind of explain it to you so it's easier for you to understand, because we hear macro and micronutrients and most of us are completely clueless, and we just, at that point when we're clueless, we just kind of give up because it doesn't matter to us when it should. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start off. I got me a little note here so I can kind of not get too far off track. But I'm going to start off with your macronutrients. Our fat intake that we should daily intake every day is 10 to 25%. Some will tell you higher, some will tell you lower, but a good general rule is like 10 to 25%. And you want to make sure that they are high in polyunsaturated and monounsaturated fats. You want to stay away from trans fats and saturated fats. Saturated fats means it's saturated with hydrogen molecules and it sticks to your body more, and it's not really that great for heart health, really anything. It's just fat that tastes good. Trans fats are like completely stay away from those. Trans fats give you nothing but added fat tissue. There's no benefit whatsoever from trans fats. good because polyunsaturated fats, monounsaturated fats, they reduce cardiovascular disease. They're great for brain and heart health. It decreases inflammation. It lowers your cholesterol levels. So if there's anybody out there dealing with cholesterol level and they're wanting to get off cholesterol medicine and stuff, polyunsaturated and monounsaturated fats are your best keys. Monounsaturated fats means it's only one. Oh man, I forgot the actual word, but it is only one molecule. Man, I forgot the name of it. But anyways, it's only got one branched chain amino acid. No, sorry, take that back. It's got one. I really feel lost at this moment. I don't like it. But anyways, your monounsaturated fat is one chain of, I think it's your hydrogen molecules. And then polyunsaturated fat is multiples. And I'm wrong, I digress on that. But your polyunsaturated fat is going to have more benefit than monounsaturated fat, but they both are going to be way healthier than your saturated and trans fats. I was kind of about to go into detail with that. It really doesn't matter because it doesn't matter if you know the actual technical terms for it. You just need to know that polyunsaturated and monounsaturated fats are the fats to go to. They are the ones that are loaded with your omegas, your omega-6s and 3s. And those are very important for brain and heart health. Mental clarity plays a really good role when you start eating omegas. And that's pretty much all that with the fat. And then your protein intake, you're looking at 30 to 40%. And this is just a recommendation. All these numbers that I'm giving you, these are your general rules. So if you're a highly active person like I am definitely eating higher proteins and higher carbs than what your recommended value is. So it depends on your lifestyle, but these are general rules or general guidelines. And the protein is 30 to 40%. And like I said, you want to make sure that most of the time when you're eating the protein, it has all 9 essential amino acids. Then your carbohydrate intake, you're looking at 40 to 65% of your carbohydrates. Carbs are your energy source. We get energy from fat, protein, and carbs, but your carbohydrates is the main source of energy. People that go on low carb diets, they immediately see a reduction in weight, which is very good for people that are really trying to shed weight quickly, but that is not a long-term game. You want to not eat a low carb diet for too long, because a low carb diet is going to bring you fatigue, headaches, you're not going to sleep very well. Those are your 3 main attributes from a low carb diet. And then your sodium intake, it's 2,800 milligrams or less. You don't really want to intake too much more than that. For that is when you start getting water weight and you get bloated. So you can actually be on a diet and be high in your sodium and feel like you're not getting anywhere, and it's because it's water weight. It also clogs your arteries, so you don't want to get too high on the sodium, but you have to have sodium because sodium is your main key electrolyte. Because you got sodium, potassium, and I can't remember the third one off the top of my head. I've got it written in all my notes, but I'm not about to go through all of those because, like I said, sodium is your main source of your fiber intake. You want to make sure that your fiber intake is, the good rule is 14 grams per 1,000 calories you eat. So if you're eating a 2,000, 2,500 calories, I think it's based on a 2,500 calorie diet is what these numbers are on. Is that men would intake 38 grams of men would take 38 grams of fiber, and women is 25 grams of fiber. Women need less. Don't really know the reason, and I don't think there's really too much of a clear reason other than that women need less. And eating fiber helps bring bulk to your stool. So insoluble fiber is what is like corn, so it doesn't completely dissolve really well in your body. So it helps add bulk to your stool and helps pass things through. So it doesn't fully digest correctly in the body. And fiber itself doesn't really digest. It is literally helps us go to make bowel movements way easier. Your soluble fiber is what typically most of us are eating, but that makes it to where if you have a high soluble fiber diet, you're a very watery diet or watery poops, and the insoluble brings bulk to the stool. I've now hit the macronutrient intake. And with the macros, those are very, very important. Like I said, your fat is 10 to 25%, your protein is 30 to 40%, and your carbs are 40 to 65%. You adjust those into your lifestyle the way you need to. Fats is very important. A lot of people try to stay away from fat because they hear fat and immediately think I'm going to get fat and it's going to get me fat. No, you got to eat the right fats. Like I said, it's polyunsaturated and monounsaturated fats. Those are the fats to go to. It gets confusing because if you're eating coconut's very high in saturated fat, which, like I said, is not really a fat you want to eat. You want to limit the saturated, but it is the MCT oils that are in the coconut actually helps burn body fat. So if you're in decent shape, like I am, and you're not really overweight, you can add coconut to your life and it's not a big problem. Now, if you're overweight and you're trying to lose weight, stay away from coconut. Olive oil is one of the best to cook with. It's high in mono and polyunsaturated fats. You want to make sure that when you cook with your oils too, you don't overcook it. You don't want them to ever smoke because then it's becoming cancerous. You don't ever want that. And you don't ever fry with oils. I fry with water, which you'll see here in just a little bit. I fry my vegetables with oils or with water, and then at the end I will add the oils to give it the flavor. And that is the healthiest way I've found to cook these, because if you cook with oils, certain vegetables really soak in those oils, and then now you're adding more oil, and at this point you start making your healthy meal become a little bit unhealthy, and we're trying to avoid all of that. I'm going to go over now with some of your micronutrients, which are your vitamins and minerals. Very, very important for us to have. We are looking at your fat-soluble vitamins, which those mean that for your body to ingest and actually absorb the vitamins and minerals that you've given it, it needs fat with your food. So if you're taking vitamins, you take vitamins first thing in the morning, and you were not eating, and you didn't put any food in your stomach, more than likely those fat-soluble vitamins are going to go right through you. It's a very important key. So if you are taking vitamins and minerals as a supplement, you have to make sure that you have at least some sort of fat in your body. Not in your body. Rephrase that. Some sort of fat in your day that you just ingested some sort of fat. So for me, whenever I was taking vitamins, I would do a little bit of MCT oil, which is your coconut, comes from your coconut, and it really helps me absorb the vitamin A, D, E, and K. Ooh, this honey is potent. But your fat-soluble vitamins, they're vitamin A, or also known as retinol and beta-carotene. They are good for your eye health, immune system, reproductive system, fetal development. So vitamin A, you'll find it in your veggies that are red, orange, yellow, green leafy vegetables. Excuse me. I'm trying to multitask. And broccoli. They're in broccoli too. Which here we go, right there. And I've got obviously a lot of vitamins inside of this food. Like this meal hardly has any fat, so I will add oils in it. Like I added olive oil into my rice, just a tablespoon, and then at the end of my stir fry, I will add oils in too, and that will help bring the fat content up because there is going to be zero fat content if I did not do that. Well, I shouldn't say zero. There's a little bit of fat in edamame beans, but like I said, that's not much fat, so I add it because this right here is going to be my lunch and possibly dinner for pretty much all week long. I'll leave that on the ground for now. Excuse me for a second. Gotta get myself fully prepared here. And then your vitamin D, which we all know vitamin D is for bone health, and bone hardening, and teeth, because teeth, there's bones. Vitamin D, we get that really well from the sun. If you're in the summer, if you're outside, you really don't need to take vitamin D supplements unless you have an immune system disorder that your body doesn't absorb vitamin D very well. Then you might need to take vitamin D3. During the winter, it's good for you to do vitamin B or vitamin D3 because obviously for obvious reasons we're not outside and in the sun as much as we usually are in the summer. And little did I know until recently that you only need 20 to 30 minutes in the sun to get the amount of vitamin D that you need. Beyond that, then it becomes toxic. Not super toxic, but it starts becoming toxic. You're not absorbing it. And if you're sun in the sun for too long, we all know that we all turn red, start getting sunburned, and that's when the cancers come. We don't want that. I'm not saying sunburn is the death of all, but we want to try to avoid getting sunburned. So those are your first two fat-soluble vitamins. Vitamin E is the third fat-soluble vitamin. It's also known as alpha. I always screw this word up. Tocopherol. You get the gist. That's a word I've never been able to say properly. But its major function is an antioxidant, and it helps it protects the fatty acids in the cell membranes, and it protects it from oxidation. Oxidation is what wears us down. It oxidizes in our body, and this is how cancer cells, free radicals is another word for it, is our free radicals start forming in the body. They connect to cells, and then we have abnormal growth, which we all know abnormal growth is cancer. So for us to stay away from that, vitamin E is very important. Vitamin E is not in every food. Vitamin E is actually one of the hardest vitamins to get unless it has been fortified or you're taking supplements. Vitamin D also protects and helps through synthesis of RNA and DNA, which we are constantly reproducing RNA and DNA all the time. We have to, man, this onion is powerful. And it also is a prevention from heart disease and aging. So it will actually help your body age more gracefully, which we all want that. And then our fourth and final fat-soluble vitamin, that is vitamin K. Which vitamin K we get from our leafy greens, so lettuces, spinach, kale, anything leafy green is for sure high in vitamin K. Vitamin K is vital for blood clotting, and it helps the coagulation over blood. So when we get cut, like I said, blood clotting, because we hear blood clot, and we're like, oh no, I've got blood clots, that's going to kill me. That's not what I mean by this, because it helps your blood from being super liquidy, so it's very vital. It's completely different from the cholesterol buildup. It's a totally different ballgame. This is why I think it's very important for everybody to do their own research, because once you read it yourself and see it for yourself, it starts making more sense. I know all this from experience. Our water-soluble vitamins, that is our vitamin C, all of our B vitamins. I don't have all of those fully written down, so they are in my phone. I have notes in my phone. I have yet to print off. I don't have a printer, and I have found every excuse for me to not go and get it printed off. I don't know why. Like I said, I found excuses. I can't sit here and justify it because that's the real reason. I always say I'm going to do it, and then I find out telling myself I don't have time. Which, for this instance, I wish I had it done so I could actually be in front of this camera as I tell you all of this. And here in a minute, I'm about to really get to cooking, so it's going to be hard for me to give you all the water-soluble vitamins now. I will have another video that will be strictly talking about the macros and the micronutrients. Right now, I'm just kind of like just laying it all on the line for you guys, so you all hear it, you see it, you understand that. Oh, okay, so that's what this is. Okay, here's my percentage numbers that I need, and like I said, I'll make another video, and I'll really break it down fully, and I'll even show you the papers that I have that I have yet to print out, and you guys will be able to screenshot it, and you can print it yourself. That way you have it, because it's very important to know these things. But we all know vitamin C, very important, super important for our immune system. And then all of our B vitamins, B1s, B2s, B12s, all the B's that we hear. And we have thiamine and riboflavin, and let's see, I've got a few written down. Your B3, which is niacin, your B6 is pyridoxine, B9 is folate, and B12 is, we all know is cobalamin. It's essential for energy. We all know that. And with our B vitamins, they do get eaten up or get used way faster. They are water soluble. So just like the fat soluble, if you don't have the fat when you take these vitamins, it's kind of just going straight through your body. Because our body starts digesting immediately when we start eating. Our mucus releases a chemical, and it starts slowly digesting it. And then, as it makes our way down to our stomach, it turns into a bile. And then that bile chum. That's not the right word. Anyways, it turns into a bile, and then that's how our body starts absorbing it as it makes its way through our small intestines and into our large intestines, and then we go to our colon and we pass it. The most absorption comes from our small intestines, which I can't remember the time it takes to get to our small intestines, but surprisingly enough, it's not very long at all. And if we don't have the water with the water-soluble vitamins, same thing as the fat-soluble. If we don't have the fat with the vitamin, it will just pass through us. We will absorb it minimally, and that's not what we're looking for. We want to have that's a good rule of thumb, is to know that if I'm going to take a vitamin, I need to make sure that I had some sort of healthy fat that I just put in my body. That I have a good amount of water, and it's good to drink about 12 to 16 ounces of water to take a vitamin. And I will, when I do the next video with the macros and the micronutrients, and I fully break down those, and I have the sheets so you can take pictures and screenshot, not take pictures. You will be able to, I will speak of what types of vitamins to look for, what nutrients that are in there that are needed. Yeah, I mean, it's about all I've got to say with the vitamins and minerals at this moment. Like I said, I'll have another video on those. But it's always good to start prepping your meals, get yourself ready for the week. Know that food is life, and not you eat to live. You eat to live, I should say. I don't know what I just did there. All of us want to eat healthy. None of us want to die at an early age. We want to prevent diseases. And people act like eating healthy is really expensive, but is it more expensive than going to the doctor? Is it more expensive than having a long-time chronic health issue because you are not eating healthy? No, it definitely pays for itself. Go to the grocery store and go, ooh, that's a hit. But is it better than that $35,000 bill you got from the doctor? You catch cancer, now you got cancer. Talk about some money. I'm gonna talk about a mental distress. It's definitely better to eat healthy. And here I've got peas and carrots. The Chinese stir fry, which is green beans, broccoli, carrots, red peppers, onions, and mushrooms. Got me some fresh broccoli that I have left over. You know, we can always find excuses to not do what we need to do. Trust me, excuses are easier than action. We all know this. We all know that it's a whole lot easier to say I'm too busy, or I'll do it tomorrow. Like I always say, tomorrow's always a day away. If I say tomorrow, tomorrow's going to become tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow, and the next thing you know, years have passed. Eating healthy, it takes a little practice and discipline to get yourself there. But after you eat healthy for a good period of time, you actually get to where you don't want to eat bad, and then the moment you do eat stuff that's not quite that good for you, you feel it. Almost there. Being prepared is key to life. I've healed many elements that the doctor said I could never heal. Actually, as a matter of fact, the reason I went vegetarian was I was having a hard time going and having a bowel movement. Every time I'd go a week, to sometimes almost 2 weeks without going. I thought it was normal. And all of a sudden, I started having all sorts of stomach pains. Then it turned out, go to the doctor, they didn't know what was wrong with me, CAT scans, all that good stuff. Still had no clue. Turns out that I was, what the doctor said, she was like, oh, well, I hate to say it, I don't know how to say it to you, other than that you're full of crap. And I mean, it was full almost to my esophagus, which made it extremely painful for me to move. They cleaned me out, and then it happened again about 2 months later. They told me that I'm gonna have to take what was it, milk and magnesia every day. I was gonna drink it every day to be able to pass. And I mean, I was 29 years old. Yeah, I was 29 years old whenever they told me this. I'm about to be 36 in a month. And I had a friend tell me, try to change my diet, go vegetarian. I kept kind of, in a sense, I laughed at him and told him you're crazy. I love eating meat. There's no way I can ever go vegetarian. Turned out, he talked me into it, said, what's the worst you can do? Go a month without eating meat, and then tell me that I was wrong and go back to eating meat. And I was like, well, can't really argue with that. I went vegetarian. About 2 weeks later, all my issues went away. My bowel movements were regular every day. Started turning into twice a day, which was very good. And then now that I'm super on top of myself, I'm 3 times a day, which technically you're supposed to go after you eat. The excess storage of feces inside your body creates this toxicity level, and it affects your mood. If you're not going to the bathroom regularly, you usually are irritable, don't sleep very well, energy level is down because your body's trying so hard to fight off all this toxicity in your body, and in turn makes you tired, makes you lazy, makes you not want to do things, and your system isn't working correctly, so it helps you make bad choices in food. Eating healthy is key. Eating healthy is key to life. You eat healthy, it starts making you want to do better things in your life. It literally is the first massive step you can take into controlling your life, and controlling your future. None of us want to be stuck in a hospital bed, especially at a young age, having all sorts of issues. That's no fun. I used to have seizures. They told me that they didn't know what it was from. They thought it was all neurological. Well, I changed my diet. That went away. Turned out it was due to deficiencies. And there are many vitamins and minerals. And this is something I will get to on the next video when I go into the macros and the macronutrients into full depth. And how many micronutrients, which are your vitamins and minerals, how many of those can contribute to seizures, Alzheimer's, all sorts of things. Never once did the doctor ever tell me, hey, what do you eat? Maybe we should change your diet. Never have I had a doctor come to me and say these things to me, ever. I completely fixed my seizures by eating healthy. The neurologist didn't even like me getting off my medicine. He said, no, you can't do that. You can't get off that medicine yet. I have to get you off that. Take it for this next year, and then I'll get you off of it. After I've gone like 8 months without seizures. And I was having seizures quite regularly. And I had grand mal seizures, the worst ones you could have. My joint pains, my sleeping, my skin, my hair, my odor, everything has improved drastically by eating healthy. I'm not saying you got to go vegetarian. You don't have to go vegetarian, but you definitely need to add vegetables every meal. A lot of vegetables. You're supposed to have more vegetables than you have protein, which for if you're a meat eater, that would be meat. Me being vegetarian, my protein is vegetables. So I can eat a good chunk of vegetables that are full of protein, and I'm still kind of meeting my limit. So in a sense, being vegetarian makes life a little simpler. You don't have to think too hard about, oh, I need to add this, I need to add that, because you're already eating nothing but vegetables and fruits. Keeping our body balanced in an alkalinity state is eating high vegetables. Fruits, people are like, oh, well, those are high in acid. Yes, but the acid and it turns into alkalinity in our body as it processes through. So you have a lot of people that are afraid to eat fruits because of the sugar content, and it's all completely different. Sugar is a fructose sugar, which has to be converted into glucose, and then your body can digest it. So it takes a while for the sugars to be digested, so it does not spike insulin. It does not spike your insulin. So if you're diabetic, sugar fruit is the fruit to go to. It is high, and it is obviously a carbohydrate. So it is going to feed your body with the energy you need. And if you work out, eating an apple before you go work out will improve muscle gain. Because muscle gain, everybody thinks it's protein, which, don't get me wrong, muscle won't build without the protein. But if you lack the carbohydrates in your diet, your body doesn't have the carbs to use for energy, and so it goes to its second source, which is protein. And then that protein being used is robbing your muscles from size, from strength. So protein and carbs are essential for muscle gain. So if there's anybody out there that's interested in that, you definitely need to know that you need good carbs to have a good body or a good muscle with adequate protein. And your protein intake on average is 1 gram of protein per kilogram. A quick calculator online, or most of us, our phones can do this for us now. And you can just type in your weight. So me, I'm 160 to 165 pounds. And at 160 pounds, I believe it was 72 kilograms. So you would multiply 72 times 1. And if you are, and this is for somebody that's not active. So if you're somebody that all you do is you go and you work at like a desk, and you don't do any physical activities throughout the day, then you're going to get the 1 gram protein per kilogram. Somebody like me, it's 1.6 to 2 grams of protein. So me being at what I am, it's like about 120 grams is about what I need daily. Now if I'm not working out, I can bring it down, but the day after I work out, I definitely want to keep myself at the protein level that I just previously discussed at 1.6 grams per kilogram. It's in the beginning, it's kind of a challenge to get there. Delicious. And by the way, always keep your stove clean so you can eat like that. If your stove's clean, don't do what I just did. Or whatever. If your stove's not clean, don't do what I just did. And our water intake for pretty much every adult, for males I should say, is 120 ounces, which is a gallon. So for men, it needs to be a gallon. For the women, it's about 3/4 of a gallon is your daily needed water intake. But water is very important. Our body is 68% water. Our cells are 68% water. Our muscles are 62% water. Our kidneys are, I can't remember the exact number, but I believe it's in the 50% water. Liver, all essential. Water is life. You can't live without water. You can, but this is how diseases and stuff happen, because you're not flushing out your system fast enough, and your water vitamins aren't being absorbed, and that is not good. Food over here. Yeah, I've got a whole bunch of protein, a good amount of carbs. I will add quinoa into this. You won't see that part because this video is extremely long already. But I will add the quinoa into this too, because that will help add in carbohydrates into this food. As you can see, I've been cooking with water so far. I'll let this all kind of marinate together, start adding some seasonings, and then I will add the oils at the end and let all that soak in and absorb it into the rice and into the meal. All my goodies over here. And I've measured my salt, and I've actually measured my shakes to know exactly how much salt I'm getting per shake. What I just put in looked like that was quite a bit of salt, but really you gotta remember this is being spread out through, in all honesty, this is probably about 8 meals worth of food, if not more. I have a tendency of eating more than I should in a sitting, which is not too big of a problem with me considering my weight. You know, I can do it. It's still not great because it puts your body in overdrive, so you definitely want to eat proportionally. And in another video I'll explain right and proper portions. Like I said, food is what gives us life. It is our energy source. When you're eating wrong, it robs you from your energy source, and that's definitely something we want to avoid here. Some cayenne pepper, can't do it without the spice. And that's another thing too. Cayenne pepper, if you're trying to lose weight, cayenne pepper is very, very good at boosting your metabolism. It is very good for your immune system. And what I like to do every morning is I will do a cayenne pepper shot, and I do just a little bit of water, probably 2-3 ounces of water, and then I add a half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. More if you can handle it, less if you can't. And I mix it with honey, because the honey takes away that mouth heat a little bit, so it's a little bit more palatable. And then I do apple cider vinegar, which is really good for your gut health. And I add, with me, since I work out and I'm vegetarian, I have to add beta-alanine and creatine monohydrate into my diet, because your highest source of creatine is from beef. And as I mentioned earlier, being vegetarian, I have to add certain things into my diet to balance myself out. So if you're gonna go vegetarian, you really gotta know and understand the nutrients and the I guess it's a mineral, and the minerals that you're not getting by eating vegetarian. We all are just I lost there for a second, I'm sorry. But doing that with my drink, I'll add those, the cayenne pepper, beta-alanine, creatine, and I add ashwagandha. Ashwagandha is very, very good. My phone's kind of falling. Hang on, excuse me. There we go. But ashwagandha root, and this is one of the ones I recommend right here. It's very, very good. It is known for it helps your body adapt to stress better. And stress isn't just mental stress. You have physical stress. So if you are working out, you are stressing your body. And with you stressing your body, you need to make sure that you have the proper supplements in your life to reduce that stress and reduce inflammation. Oh, this is so much food. This is going to be hard to cook it. I need to buy a wok. That is definitely something I need. That is going to be an investment soon. Oh boy, oh boy. Whew, that's a lot of food there. If there's a will, there's a way, right? Yes, doing that cayenne pepper drink every morning is a very, very good key, and it helps your body wake up. You think coffee wakes you up? Try that shot that I was talking about. Even if you don't have all the extras, just water, cayenne pepper, and honey, and you will wake up really fast. And it is a sustaining energy because it is a jolt to the nervous system, not a trick to the brain. Caffeine tricks the brain, makes it feel like it is good, and then you have a crash. You will not have a crash with cayenne pepper because it is not a actual stimulant to the brain. Oh, this looks amazing. And as you can see, like I said before, I'm sitting here cooking all of this with water. You get all nice, fried up, good light, and I have not added anything bad. And since I'm frying it, it's kind of at a high heat, and I'm not having to worry about anything smoking and becoming carcinogenic, which is cancerous. And none of us want cancer. That's definitely something we all want to avoid. And some places will tell you 90%. Me, I've become a personal trainer, a certified trainer, a certified nutritionist, and I'm currently working on the bodybuilding specialist, and yoga. And this is all through the ISSA program, the International Sports Science Association. They were founded in 1988. They are very well known, very credible, and through them, they will tell you it's about 94% or 96% of all diseases are preventable, which means you are what you eat. So if you eat like crap, you're looking at diseases coming down your life. Doesn't mean you're going to eat a cookie and you're going to die. That's not the case. But if you are somebody that eats all this sugar and all this processed foods and all this garbage all the time, you are definitely going to regret these decisions as you get older. So prevent it. It's preventable maintenance. I haven't been to a doctor since 2016. No, I take it back. 2017. That's when I started this diet. It was 2017, and that was the last time I went to the doctor because that's when I found my friend told me to try this. So I tried it and never went back. Pretty much everything is preventable. So, unless it's hereditary or you were born with it, you can't beat that. It is what it is. But if it is hereditary, you can do your best to prevent it. Don't just chalk it off as, oh, grandma had cancer, everybody's had cancer in my family, I'm going to get cancer. Now, how about you be the one that shows your family how it can be done? It's all about a team effort here. And I am a living testimony. I can for sure, I have many reasons and examples of how I've truly turned my life around. And on this channel, you will see this. You will hear many of these testimonies from me and from others that have gone down the same path I've gone down. Life is very beautiful, but very fragile and very short. So we want to make the best out of our life so we can be there for our kids and our grandkids and our great-grandkids. Because if you're eating healthy and you're living well and you're exercising and you're taking true care of your body, you'll be here for many generations instead of just your grandchildren, grandpa and the great grandpa still out there running and chasing their kids. I know people that do it, they're in their 80s, and they're not obviously as strong and as fast as I am, but they are still running and doing all sorts of stuff, active, doing pull-ups. I mean, age is just a number if we take care of our body. If we don't take care of our body, age is very scary. I really hope I haven't been boring you all here. There's a lot of information I've dropped. Some of it I wasn't fully prepared on when I started speaking it, and for that I am truly sorry. I will be better prepared for this next video. Like I said, I'll really truly explain all of these macros and micronutrients really well to the T so you understand. Because it's all about empowering each other. I speak out of everything from experience. I am a human being, so I am fallible. I make mistakes. I try not to repeat these mistakes. I spent most of my life just constantly making mistakes and repeating them. And I've overcome that, and I'm here to try to help other people overcome their problems. And it really comes down to mental health. So the way you think, the way you perceive the world. Are you a victim or are you a victor? I used to be a victim. The moment I became a victor, my life truly changed. This can happen for anyone. We are not a product of our environment. We're not a product of our past circumstances. And most of us have created this image from childhood. And you gotta break it. You gotta break that programming. I'm about to try these. I have not put these two things on it. This is a coconut secret stir fry. This is gonna be probably pretty good. We're gonna see. Don't know. But this is the heat. Can't have food without heat if you're me. I am hot here. Yeah, that's pretty hot. And I already tell you, I highly recommend this. I've not put it in my food yet, but boy, that is an amazing flavor. Wow. And since I'm cooking a stir fry, a Chinese dish, I'm going with sesame seed oil. A lot of people are afraid to eat these types of oils. Sesame seed oil and olive oil are one of the best. Like I said, don't cook with it. Don't fry with it, I should say. Cook with it, but don't fry it. It does have a higher burning point, so it is better to fry with if you're going to fry with an oil versus olive oil. And coconut oil is not supposed to get above 350 degrees. So pretty much anything you're cooking doesn't need to be cooked with coconut oil. I've been confused and lost on the way I've cooked before. Cooked wrong, thought I was cooking right. But that was me not having all the knowledge I have now. That was being ignorant to the fact. The sesame seed oil, as you can see, it is very high in your polyunsaturated fat and your monounsaturated fat. It's 14 grams, well, that's 12 of your grams there. You have 2 grams in your saturated fat, which is only at 9% at a 2,000 calorie diet. Well, me, I have a very high metabolism because of how much I work out and how much I train martial arts. And that I am actually eating about 3 to 3,800 calories, 3,000 to 3,800 calories. And all my calories are in a very healthy calorie range. They're not excess. I try to not have any excess fats in my diet. here, so I've turned myself down to almost low. I'm at low medium for sure. Not a medium low, so it means I'm closer to low than I am medium. And I recommend anytime you're cooking, try to go organic. And if it's not, or if you can't find organic, definitely go non-GMO. And I will have other videos explaining why the GMOs and why they're bad, why you want to stay away from them. You lose a lot of nutrient content when you go with the GMOs. They've altered them so they can last better on the shelf. They last better and are easier to grow. Oh yeah, deliciousness right here, I'll tell you that much. I'm excited for this. Whew. Almost choked me up, that's that hot. Yeah, I mean, just look at it. You can't tell me that this doesn't look delicious. Well, boy, this is really amazing. And every time I make a stir fry or any type of meal that I've made before, I always do a little something different, so it's not quite the same. So it almost feels like I'm eating a completely new dish, even though it's the exact same ingredients or vegetables that I eat almost every time I do this. But you're able to change things up by seasonings, oils, and like I did here, I've never done this, so that totally changes the ball game. It is crucial to take care of your body. Like I said, I've been doing doctor since the early summer, I'd say. Early summer of 2017 was whenever last time I went to the doctor and decided they were sick care and not health care. I've always been weary about it. I've always questioned it. Never really knew. And I've heard it, and now I can tell you for a fact, I won't go to a doctor. If I go to a doctor, I'm going to find myself a holistic doctor, somebody that I trust. As a matter of fact, take the time and he's on YouTube, he's on Facebook, he's on Instagram. Dr. Living Good. Dr. Living Good. I highly praise his work. He is a doctor that realized in his practice that it was a sick care, not health care. And he's a doctor that has made it his life mission to bring people the awareness of how to eat healthy and what's good and what's not. And I've actually learned quite a bit from this man myself of things that I thought were actually truly healthy, what they were actually doing to my body. It's kind of amazing. Sometimes it's sad to know these informations because what you thought was good is not great. It is a life-altering decisions when you start eating like this. I mean, you will improve so much in the way that you feel and sleep and everything. And I went from had terrible time sleeping, didn't get much, had terrible energy, always needed coffee or any energy drink or something like that. And very rare will I do any caffeine. And like I said, my life is extremely busy. And I got 2 daughters, 11 and 9, and I play with them extremely hard. As a matter of fact, yesterday I worked out with my guys that I trained martial arts with, and then was at the park and played extremely hard for 6 hours straight. 35 years old, and I'm I'm running and playing and climbing up the ladders and climbing up all sorts of jungle gyms and playing like a kid. It's amazing. It's amazing the way I feel, and it's due to how I eat and my exercising, obviously. But people think that eating healthy is extremely hard to do, and it's not. In the beginning, it can feel scary, it can feel overwhelming. But as you just saw, I cheated did all these were frozen vegetables, and except my rice, obviously, and my onion. But everything was frozen. That took me no prep time. I literally stuck it all in here and boom, started cooking. So you can make easy ways to do this, or you can do it the way I usually do it, and I usually make and cut all my food up. I have a food processor, so I'll process my food, so it makes it easier and faster instead of dicing them all up and mincing them. It's a whole lot faster with the food processor. Excuse me. Eating frozen is way better than eating out of a can. Eating out of a can has been preserved really hard with usually sodium, so it's usually high in sodium. And like I said, you want to be 2,800 milligrams or less on sodium. Some will tell you a little bit lower, but in general rule, 2,800 milligrams or less. If you're making soups, stay away from vegetable broths and chicken broths and stuff because those are extremely high in sodium. Use water. Add your own salt. Add your own seasonings. You're going to create broth. If you're cooking chicken or anything like a chicken soup, it's going to turn into a chicken broth. I used to not, for some reason, I didn't put two and two together. That's how it is, but it is. And with vegetables, vegetable broth, you got a bunch of vegetables. You add some salt. Boom, vegetable broth. By the time your soup is done. You have to add seasonings to your water, and you can literally make any broth you want. So if you're eating beef, on a beef soup, it will turn into a beef broth by using water. One big healthy fact: use water when you cook, almost every time. Well, my food, I believe, is fully ready. Oh boy, I wish you could smell it. The way technology is, it won't be too long before you can actually smell what I'm cooking. Which is a good thing, and at the same time kind of scary, because what if it doesn't smell good? Oh man, that's amazing. And like as you've seen, I cooked all that with water, and then at the end, after everything was fully cooked, I added all of my oils and my liquids, and that were not water, and added that to it, put it on a very low heat, stirred it around, let it cook a little bit, get some of that excess water out of there because it was almost gone. This is steam and not smoke, because that's one thing you got to realize when you're cooking of what the difference is between steam and smoke, because they kind of look the same, but you can tell by the smell. And you'll know that from experience. I believe that's all I got for this. Because now that my food is done and I've spoke my way for over an hour, and that's kind of not normal for me. I'm a talker, but I'm not that big of a talker. I hope this wasn't too boring. I hope you guys got some good, guys and gals, I should say, got some good information out of this. Always feel free to comment, and I will reply. And if it gets to where you need to actually speak to me personally, you can always get to me on my messenger at Jared B. Freeman, and we can message personally. I'm here to help. I want to help improve everybody's life. I've made massive improvements with mine. I want to help teach people my secrets, which are really not secrets. I mean, everybody's doing it that's gone through healthy transitions. I want to help empower people and make them feel in control of their life and not so lost and confused and so overwhelmed with all the choices out there, because it can be overwhelming. It was for me. Remember, food is our energy source. So we eat to live. We don't live to eat. Remember that. And I'll speak on fasting, and I'm not saying fasting and don't eat for days, but of how to intermittent fast, which is very important, especially as you age. But yeah, I believe that's all I'm going to cover on this one. I've already stretched this video out really long. and so I can get this whole meal cooked in front of you guys. And I mean, you can tell, oh, that's heavy. You can tell by looking at that, that just looks absolutely amazing. The sodium content is not actually that high, and in all honesty, let's see. Yeah, let's say this meal. Yeah, no, I know it's on there. I don't even need to look. I would say in this meal alone, with everything I put in this, all of this, like if I ate this whole thing at once, I would be at my 2,800 milligram intake. So this is extremely healthy, high in all of your macro and micronutrients. This literally is a full spectrum meal. Full energy, full protein, good fat, good healthy fats. Not one fat in this is bad. Well, I take it back. There's a little bit of saturated fat, but it's not that high. A little bit's okay. You don't want to exceed it. I can't remember the content of or how much saturated fat is bad. But I highly encourage you to try to eat better, and it's little things, baby steps. Get rid of one bad meal a day, and you will noticeably feel better, and then you'll feel successful because you did it. And I know you can do it. You've got the ability to do this. Well, family, I'm getting out of here. Know that I love you, and God bless you. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel and help me grow, help me reach out to other people.